Fiola. I'm a captain with the Shelton Police Department, and I've had the honor of being this class's commander during this Reserve Academy. There were some programs in the front, but it's going to be pretty structured. First and foremost, can I get all of our City of Shelton elected officials to stand up for me? And we give them a round of applause. Obviously, with anything we do, it costs funding, it costs dollars. And without our elected officials, we wouldn't be able to have these Reserve Academies, so thank you very much. We have several chiefs in the building, Sheriff Snoz and his command staff. I'm not sure if Chief Stansel's here, but the young cadre is here. I got Chief Moody to my left, Lieutenant Colonel Houston from the 627th Comm Squadron over here. Thank you for coming, sir. So yes, thanks for coming, guys. This was the 2018 Shelton Police Department Reserve Academy, and it was part of collaboration between the Shelton Police, Thurston County Sheriff's Office, and the Young Police Department. When I think of these speeches for these things, I think of the work that law enforcement does. The Shelton Police Department's mission is to provide excellent service and protection through leadership and partnership with the community. Our vision is to make a positive difference. Our core values are loyalty, dedication, respect, service, honor and integrity, and personal courage. But how do you quantify that? How do you put that on paper when you're dealing with law enforcement? How do you say, hey, we're achieving that? We've met our mission, we're following our vision, and we're living to our core values. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we quantify it right here. These are community members. These are volunteers. We've worked together. This is how we can look at our mission and say, you know what, we're doing it right. So I'm very proud of every single one of them. The police academy within itself, the family, you guys have known the sacrifice. It's over 250 hours. These ladies and gentlemen have volunteered their times every Tuesday and Thursday nights and every other weekend, 8 to 4. That's time away from family, which I appreciate you're all here. There's time away from some of their jobs. They've had to sacrifice pay. They've had to buy pieces of equipment. And they've had to deal with all the stresses of the Law Enforcement Academy with no pay. Okay, that tells you what kind of people they are. It shows me a lot. Some of the coursework that they took is everything from criminal law, criminal procedures, defensive tactics, firearms, EVOC, TASER, which you'll get to see a great video here very soon about that. So, but what I would like to say from the Shelton Police Department to you is thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your family's lives. Thank you for allowing them to follow their dreams and give back to their communities. Without further ado, I'll bring up Chief Moody to talk about this.
First of all, thank you all for coming once again, and I thank you, Captain Fiola, because without him this wouldn't happen. The interesting part about he talked about budget and money, and some of you who live in this area know that the city of Shelton had some budget issues in the last year. And in fact, this was in jeopardy just 7 or 8 months ago when we found out, through no fault of the elected officials that are currently in office, but through some personnel issues down the road and other things, that a budget axe was falling and the budget axe was going to hit us. I went to Captain Fiola and several other members of the department, and I told them, I said, we're going to have to axe the Reserve Academy. We're not going to be able to fund it. Within 2 or 3 days, they were all in my office. They said, we can do this. We can make it happen. We won't take overtime. We'll do it on our own time. Or we'll do it with comp time, and we'll make it happen. So I'd like to give a round of applause to all of the instructors. Yeah, this is funny because last month marked 30 years for me where I got sworn in as a reserve in Modesto, California, and I've never seen a can-do attitude like I see in these departments. Family and friends, I want to thank you again. You're here to support the students who are about to become part of what I believe to be one of the most noble professions on earth. Your support can't stop here. Remember that these young people will see and deal with things that nobody else should have to. Have some patience while they find their way through it. If I give one small piece of advice, It's to understand that they need to laugh. Once they begin police work, the things that will make them laugh, and they will laugh at when most people cry. Understand that if they don't laugh, they will suffer. So let them laugh. Let them have a good time. Recruits, this is your day to shine. Don't tarnish what you've accomplished by losing sight of what is there when you don that uniform. What you have chosen to do is a mission, a calling, as guardians of public safety. Every day in your life in uniform from now on, you will be referred to as law enforcement officers. Though only a small portion of what you will do will be law enforcement. And you've embodied this already, judging the barbecue at Smoke and Mo's. I won't talk about the beer you had. Running with the Special Olympians. Those are non-law enforcement duties that we did. You'll be there to witness horrific and final moments. You'll be first on scene to initiate CPRs. You'll witness domestic violence, and you'll tend to broken bodies on the streets. You will help elderly cross the street and remove children from homes that are unfit for rodents. Speaking of the elderly, sometimes all they want and desire is a few precious moments of your time and a listening ear to tell you about it. Take the time. Abide by the golden rule to always treat those you are called on to assist as you want to be treated, or better yet, like you want your family to be treated. And always remember to do the right thing for the right reasons. You will have to step in to intervene in those incidents when you know your partner's having a rough time, when they're having a tough time getting through a call. And that's when you remember the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Never overlook or take for granted your family. Most importantly, never fail to remember that your families, which at times includes the brother and sisterhood of law enforcement officers, will be your greatest asset. Don't carry your burdens like a bag of rocks on your shoulders. We're social creatures. Isolations can be deadly. This is especially true for high-demand, high-risk professions like this. That which is swept under the mats or stuffed in the trunk of your patrol cars will eventually return to haunt you. Once an incident is concluded, it's never really over. It lingers in images, smells, sounds. Don't be a stranger to the mental health arena or peer support. Share it with those who wear the same boots. Every once in a while, something seemingly small will occur. Your heart will fill, a smile come across your face, and that little call you handle that nobody will notice will make you remember why you're here. This will recharge your batteries for another round. Be the kind of law enforcement officer who's available to aid and validate, not to malign, not to judge, but to listen with empathy. Turn to one another with a caring heart, and sustain the life force for guardianship of public safety. Just as vital to the fact most law enforcement remember long past any traumatic event, the conduct of every member of their chain of command, their squad, their team, in the face of tragedy. Who called? Who cared? Who showed up? Everyone's day beyond the giving and receiving of this will come. Decide now where you will be standing. God bless each of you for the courage you will display in the taking the solemn oath of sworn officers for each of your departments, and what I believe will be one of the most noble professions in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Moody. You probably ask any law enforcement officer back there in the room, where they started their law enforcement career. I'd say 95% of us started in the exact same shoes we were in today, as volunteer reserve deputies and/or officers. So, this is very important to us, and I hope you guys understand how important it is that the time that these guys put into you, how much it really matters. So we had 2 track officers that were basically in charge of instruction in addition to myself. So if we can give a round of applause to Sergeant Dan Patton and Sergeant Coach. The chief hit on it a little bit. This is a sacrifice for the agency as well. It's time away from our families, and these guys put in a ton of work to help keep your family members safe and to teach them law enforcement. So I'm going to have Sergeant Patton come up and speak to the class and to the group.
speech, the one that the chief just gave. So, class, I want to talk to you. Let's thank our family for being here, but this is our time together. My time here, let me talk to you about what's important to me on how to survive and how to survive in law enforcement today. It's much different than law enforcement 15, 20 years ago. It's much different than law enforcement 5 years ago. Sitting there, you're not going to be law enforcement officers. You're going to be social workers. You're going to be psychologists. You're going to be AAA. You better know how to change a tire. You better know how to change anything that's wrong with the vehicle. You better know how to talk to somebody, care for them. You better have every single answer, even if it's not your profession. Most importantly, when you treat people out there, I want you to look at them as if they're your family. Treat them like your family. I had a TAC officer about 12 years ago in San Jose talk to me about the respect that they would give to criminals. And one day, they were in a fight for their life, and a citizen came by and helped them, probably saved their life. And that citizen was someone that they had arrested 2 years previously. And they said, even though we don't like the police, you treated me with respect and dignity. And I look at you differently than every other police officer. As you perform the duties, I ask you to put yourself above no man or woman. None of us can claim to be without fault. And each of us continue to struggle with our own fault and our own weaknesses. If you ask me if I have a skeleton in my closet, I don't. I have a graveyard. I got a really big closet, okay? All of us fall in life, but a man's character should not be measured by how we fall, but should be measured on how we get back up. The criminals you will arrest are not necessarily bad people. They made bad choices. They made criminal choices. But every man and woman you'll ever arrest has one thing in common, and that's the redemptive power of their own spirit. Jail doesn't need to be the end of the line for these people. It can be the beginning of a life anew. And the citizens you'll arrest in your career will frequently come from challenging backgrounds. Many will be poor, most will have grown up in troublesome neighborhoods, without proper guidance and counsel, and without the benefits of a strong family, like the family that's here for you today. Many will be poorly educated, and most will feel trapped in a horrible world of drugs and petty crime and a justice system that keeps on spinning for them. Ask yourself to look into your own heart and ponder what sort of person would these criminals become if their life had been more like yours. Now there's exceptions. Of course, some people are able to rise above poverty and the crime-ridden neighborhoods of their youth and to grow, become productive citizens of society. I'm not suggesting that the criminals are victims, by any means. Men don't break into homes or commit armed robberies because their daddy didn't hug them enough. They do because they've given up on life. They've given up on the dreams of their youth, and none of us here today buy into the modern concept that mass victimization. Yet in our own heart and mind, there should be a consideration for your life your fellow man has endured. Like the chief said, don't carry your burdens in a heavy sack. The first year of this work, you'll probably be wishing that there'll be no other job in the world. You'll never want to leave your patrol car. This work will get to you. You need to take care of yourself. You need to support each other. We have enough problems. Remember that the people that work next to you, they are also your family. We started this road 5 months ago, and time went by really quick, didn't it? You all put in a lot of hard work. More hard work than me. More hard work than Sergeant Kostad or any of the instructors. We got paid to do this. You guys gave up your time, possible opportunities of making money, your commitment for the last 5 months. Most importantly, you gave up your summer. All 2 days of it in Washington. This graduation is a culmination of a lot of hard work, and we're proud of your accomplishments. We have a lot of people to thank. I'd like to thank Shelton Police Officer Chief Moody, Young Police Chief Stansel, Thurston County Sheriff Snaza, and their staff for the dedication and the support of the Reserve Police Academy. We'd also like to thank each of the city council members and the county commissioners of the respective agency here today for your support of local law enforcement. Captain Fiola and other employees of the Thurston County, Yelm, and Shelton Police Department, we spent countless hours instructing the academy. I'd like to thank each and every one of the reserve officers and deputies who sacrificed their time, their money to participate. And I save them for last, but perhaps the most important. I want to thank the families behind each of our officers and deputies who support them behind the scenes for the last 5 months, and they will definitely need your support for the rest of their careers in law enforcement. Thank you for coming today.
Okay, the next will be a speaker from our class president. But before you step up, I want to definitely say thank you. Where's Trooper Leishman? Where's his wife at? Thank you. I'm the other woman he's been texting constantly. So if you see his phone going off all the time, it's because him and I are conversing about what we need in the class. So I get a lot of the praise from our command staff for being, the commander of the academy, but in actuality, I really didn't have to do much. I just had to be here and kind of do some logistics. What really got our work done was this class, and Deputy Leishman is a great guy. Not only, and he won't tell you this, because he's extremely humble. For the first 6 months, the first 5 months I knew him, I'm quite confident he doesn't laugh or smile. He just says, "Yes, sir." And what I found is, he's about to retire from the military. So kudos to that. And his wife's a Washington State trooper. So whenever we get a traffic question, I'll be like, "Leishman, you know it, your wife's a trooper." It's your job to know it. So you better be the traffic guy for Thurston County. He's been my class president. I cannot thank you enough for all your hard work, all your dedication to your classmates. I never had to come in and really chew any butt because he already did the chewing before I got there. He had everybody in line. He policed them, is what I call it. Hey, police your partners. He always had them in check. And I cannot, as a commander, I can't say thank you enough for that. So from me to you, thank you. And I'll let you come in and address your class.
Sheriff Snaza, Mayor Rogers, Chief Moody, Chief Stansel, Under Sheriff Braniff, Lieutenant Colonel Houston, Sergeant Major Select Walker, family and friends. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this wonderful day for us. It's been great these past 5 months. We've joined a bunch of friends, and we have bonded as a group. I won't tell you the daily antics and jokes that happen, but I'm sure you'll hear stories in the future. I won't take too much time, but as the graduates know today that I'm pretty long-winded, so I'll try and make it short and sweet. Sheriff Snaza, Chief Moody, Chief Stansel, thank you all for the opportunity to serve our communities. These graduates today know how important this is, and we will not let you down. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates before you here today are such a diverse group of individuals. Some have sacrificed so much to be here today. These individuals each have their own story to tell, and I won't do them any justice, but I'm going to tell you a few if you don't mind. Among these graduates, we have one who moved from Bellingham all the way to Shelton, found a job just so he could serve as a reserve officer for the Shelton Police Department. We have one who's been working for a number of years, multiple different locations, waiting for her chance to serve her community. We have an active duty airman, a retiree who served almost 30 years in the Air Force before he chose to join the Young Police Department. We have a Purple Heart recipient, a pilot, multiple fathers, husbands, daughters, sons, and friends. They understand the principles of Sir Robert Peel and the origins of the sheriff, or shirees. It is important for us to remember and respect those who have played the path before us, who we're about to go on. To the graduates today, it's been an honor to be your class president. If I can encourage you to remember that what we received over the past 5 months is only a foundation. A strong foundation to build the walls of a career in which you want it to be. No matter how big or how small you choose. Whether your venture is to continue on as reserve or go further to be full-time, use this foundation. We've learned a lot from a lot of great men and women. To our cadre, thank you. Thank you for your coaching and your continued mentorship over the past 5 months. Your experiences you shared with us, no matter how difficult, it will help us in our future, and you've made us who we are today. Chief Moody, we've heard so many stories, countless stories from your officers about how much they love working for you in this department. This was projected through the training that we received. The climate of learning your cadre created made all of us successful, and we would not be here today if not for them and your department. Chief Moody, can you please join me up here at the stage?
Sir, on behalf of the Reserve Class 2018, thank you and your staff. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
It's a wonderful gift. Thank you very much. Your class once taught you. So I'll call it Officer Dunlap.
Don't look so scared that I'm the one talking. You should be. So, all of us reserves wanted to present you with a gift. You've done a lot for all of us. You've encouraged us. You've pushed us to be better officers and deputies. And at the end of the day, you had to put up with us. And anyone here that knows me, you had to put up with me. Congratulations, you passed. So, everyone here that's ever been part of a group knows that eventually people get nicknames. You ended up with the nickname that I gave you. So his nickname is El Presidente, and we got you a knife, and we engraved El Presidente on it. And that's just to remind you of the academy and everything that you did for us.
So to say a little bit about your family members and these new officers and deputies. So this is the third Reserve Police Academy that I've had the honor of instructing at or being part of. I see Corporal Moran back there, and he was in the Reserve Academy. I mean, I see all these faces. Officer Lawson, he was in my Reserve Academy. Officer Pickens, he was in my Reserve Academy. It's great to see all these people. But what was interesting about this class, and everybody can attest to it, was how tight they were. You know, you never know when you bring a group of people how they're going to get together, how they're going to bond, and you're always going to have personalities that are different. But this class really got together. They really embodied the word teamwork. Urocco's Coffee, at 7th Dakota, not only is like our coffee, it's like we call it our substation, but it was literally their second classroom if you ever went down there. So Kevin, if you're here, I'm sorry about the impact that's going to be on the profits when they're done, but they were down there quite a bit. But a great class and a great group of people. So without further ado, we're going to do the class video. So those of you that are sitting up front, there is a speaker right underneath that projector, and it's going to pump. It's loud. So if you want to plug your ears, you're more than welcome to. Try not to laugh too hard. So, Deputy Bonfield, can you stand up for me real quick? So, Vern not only is like the cool dude because he's got a pilot's license for helicopters, he's also extremely smart, and he's able to put this thing together. So thank you very much. Quality work, absolutely amazing. So, just push play, correct? Okay.
Why do you want to go into law enforcement? I've directed my life towards serving others, and I don't want to work or live, a life of doing anything but serving the public. It's just what I get from fulfillment from.
It's something I've always wanted to do. I just want to give back to the community and everybody that's in it.
So like hungry, I wanted to be a top school kid, since I'm not going to do it. Still have my regular job and serve my community.
What is your favorite part?
I mean, there's so much. I think this is one thing. From firearms to the e-box to legal stuff.
My favorite part of the academy would definitely be shooting.
Teaching firearms, anything to do with things like that.
Come on, flashback! You freaking missed, Moriarty. You're from Yelp. You're not allowed to miss. It ain't vaudeville. Holy shit! It's the dirt. Oh my God! Really hard. Oh my God! You're having yard sales, dude. Hit him! Hit him! Perfect or nothing. 25 yards. I want you to hit him in the head. Okay? How are you going to change your trigger press? Only perfection of the trigger will hit that. There you go, kid. That was dead center. Good run. Woo! Good shot. Right in the eyeball. Let's go. There you go, kid. Let's go around his face. There you go, kid. That's good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. There you go. Perfect. Another one. Watch his trigger. Foot. One foot. Stay on one foot. Okay. All push-ups are now erased. However, 160 of them are back in action. If she missed. 160 push-ups. One shot. Oh my God, no man! Rush it. Shoot him, Johnny. Woo! Oh my God! Oh, there was a fight.
mistakes together, we grow together, we encourage each other, because without teamwork, it's gonna fall apart. So I'll always know that it's important to work together, and never hesitate to ask for help.
I would say being able to talk to people is huge. Doing exercises and walk scenes definitely helped me be able to talk to people.
The connections that we built as a team and how we grew together, that would be the thing that stood out the most.
Funniest thing? I'd say the tasing.
The funniest thing would be everybody getting tased.
The funniest part was definitely everybody getting tased.
That's all ever be, I guess.
Wasn't that good? That's good. So a little behind the scenes story. So a couple of our guys were at the tasing. So a lot of our instruction was joint. It wasn't just Shelton PD. As you can see, the firearms, that was Yelm. DT was mostly Thurston County SO. So everybody came together as a team to make this happen. But our guys were over at the Thurston County spot videoing the tasings, and I'm on the couch watching this at home, like I was watching the Mariners game, and I am like crying. I'm laughing so hard that weird video. I'm like, I don't know if he's having a stroke. Should I call an ambulance? But I'm laughing so hard. My girlfriend runs out. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "You just gotta watch. Just push play." And I think we laugh because we've all done it. We've all been there. We've all rode the lightning, so we get it. We can join in your pain, and you're part of a brotherhood, if you will. So the next portion is going to be the badge ceremony. So if I can get the chief of police, the representative from the Yelm Police Department, and the sheriff of Thurston County SO, as well as Sergeant Patton and Sergeant Kostad. What we'll do is I will call the officer or deputy's name. They will come forward, and I'll call off who's pinning their badge. You'll shake all the dignitaries' hands, and you'll get your certificate, and your loved one will pin your badge. Sound good? All right, so if I can everybody come up. Okay, so we will start with the Thurston County Sheriff's Office. Can I get Corey Freeborn come forward? Deputy Vernon Bonfield. You can clap. Dan, can I get you up here, bud? Chief Moody. And any band members or friends that want to come up close to get the picture of the pinning of the badge? Hey, okay. Extra points for hitting skin. And if I can just get you guys to stand, just start forming a line. Next, can I get Angie or Trooper Leishman? If you want to bring the kids up, you're more than welcome to. And I heard you made quite the dessert last night, sweetheart. Inside joke. Deputy Dustin Leishman. And September 1 of next year, you'll be retired from the United States Army as a Master Sergeant. So, thank you for the service. Tiffany Stewart. This is the wife of Deputy Matthew Stewart. So Matt currently serves in the United States Air Force. So he's full-time, works out of McCord Air Force Base there, John. I told them that to work on the holes to make sure they could go in there. If they chose not to, then literally jammed in there. Next will be Deputy Josh Strauss and his daughters Haley and Riley Strauss. Josh served in the United States Army and is a Purple Heart recipient. Next will be the Young Police Department. You can have Amy Moriarty, Officer Quinn Moriarty, Quinn is another one of our veterans. He served 30 years in the United States Air Force. Next will be Robert Toll with wife Stephanie Toll. So fun fact, his last name is spelled T-O-W-L-E. For all 5 months I was calling him Towel. His classmates were calling him Towlee. And the day after he finally took his comprehensive, he's like, it's pronounced Toll, like Tolles. Okay, well thanks for letting me know. Next will be the Shelton Police Department. If I could have Morgan Shaw come up for Officer Cody Berry. So we met Cody. He's our Bellingham transplant. We were opening up the reserves, and he came down and sat with Chief Moody and I. And I said, do you know how far that drive's going to be? Bellingham to Shelton for class. I'm moving down here. And I said, you know what, that's dedication. He has since tested with public safety testing, gotten our top 5, and we have offered him a full-time position with the Shelton Police Department. So before I call up the next one, super proud of her, obviously a family friend, have known her forever. Her dad worked for the Shelton Police Department. He was our animal control officer for many years. Prior to that, he was retired LAPD. Her mom was a local real estate agent in town, two of the most amazing people you ever would meet. They've since passed, Bob more recently, and I know that he would be extremely proud of you, Kelly. And I can tell you right now, he's saying, Kelly, you're the one putting the badge on. So we're very proud of you, your parents are proud of you, and we put their pictures up front for you. So Kelly Dunlap, Shelton Police Department, now get to bring you next. Danielle Gilbert and children. This will be Officer Matthew Gilbert. So if Matt looks tired, he's the Thurston County Sheriff's Office Corrections Officer, so he's been working night shift while doing the police academy, so we usually see him with a power drink in his hand. And he's also a Shelton High Climber graduate along with Kelly Dunlap. So. Okay, so before I call up our next one, Krista Harper, a little fun story about her. So she applied to be a full-time police officer with us, and we interviewed her probably 3 years ago? 2 years ago. We interviewed about 2 years ago. And she sat down, super eager, I want to be a cop, I want to be a deputy, and it was her first real police interview. And where do you see yourself in a couple years? I'm going to Thurston County. Well, sweetheart, you can't say that to me because I'm trying to get you here on Shelton. So, 2 years later, we see her again, and she's super eager. So we get to the question, where do you see yourself in a couple years? I'm going to be proudly serving the city of Shelton. Good answer. Krista Harper, come on up. And her father, John Harper. She was probably one of our most, what's the word I'm looking for? Dedicated, tenacious. On the days of the academy, I would see her down in Rockos at 8 a.m. The class starts at 4 p.m. and I would say, Krista, what are you doing here? Oh, just studying, Captain. Good to be here. Glad to be here. How are you, sir? I'm good, Krista. Have a great day. If I could have everybody have her personality, the whole world would be great. Alyssa Weir, and if you got the kids, all right. Officer Matthew Weir, Shelton Police Department. Matt also won the Taser Video of the Year award. Okay, so the next we're going to do an award ceremony. Real quick, just 2 awards. So everything we do is obviously paraded throughout this whole entire police academy. From the classroom to practicality, test, shooting, driving, DT, everything is tested. We accumulate those scores, and at the end we give someone the award of best overall. There wasn't a huge disparity. They were all very high. Mid-90s was kind of where they were at. But coming in on top at 96% for the entire academy will be Deputy Bonfield, Thurston County Sheriff's Office. The next award is nothing to do with points, nothing to do with scores, absolutely nothing to do with the instructors. This is from the classmates, and we call this the backup award, or you're in the worst situation of your life. And envision yourself on a call, on a traffic stop where things have gone extremely south. You are out in Bald Hills, out somewhere in Yelm, and your nearest backup is a long ways away, but somebody just showed up to help you. Who is it that you want to look back and say, oh, thank the Lord, this person's here. They're going to help me, they're going to back me up. And I couldn't agree more with this award. Deputy Dustin Leishman. Next we'll be doing a swearing-in ceremony, so dignitaries, you're free to head back to your seats. If I can get the Mayor of Shelton, Mr. Bob Rogers, Chief Moody, and everybody other than SPD can come have a seat back at your chairs. Or, yep, you can do it right there, sir.
You guys are welcome to get up, stand over here and take pictures. Go for it.
Congratulations, everyone. Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Washington, and abide by the Code of Ethics of the Shelton Police Department. And I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of police officer for the city of Shelton. Thank you very much.
If I can have Chris Pickens from the Shelton Police Department.
I'm sorry. I told the mayor no surprises. We do have a surprise. So this last week was your first week, right? Congratulations. We hired Mr. Pickens from a local agency as a lateral officer, and Captain Fiola gave you Cody Berry's story. I mean, when a kid comes into an interview and tells you he's willing to move here for a free job, how do you not offer him a full-time position when it comes up? So we're going to have the mayor swear you in, Cody, today as a full-time police officer with the city of Shelton, and Mr. Pickens.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Washington, and abide by the Code of Ethics of the Shelton Police Department, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of police officer for the city of Shelton. Thank you very much.
Amanda Pickens. And children.
All girls, by the way.
Poor Chris. Grew up with 3 sisters. I can feel it.
Coming, Dad, I'm coming. There you go.
Thank you, Okay, Shelton kids, you can come have a seat. So we are to the closing ceremonies. Before we get there, I do want to thank Smoky Mo's, one of our local businesses here in town. They gave us some free catering back there. So after we're done, please feel free to grab drinks, snacks, mingle, all those good things. So this is my chance to get to talk to the class last time as your Academy Commander. I'm pretty much going to echo what Sergeant Patton and everyone else told you. Do the right thing for the right reasons at all times. The chief kind of hit on it. I'm going to stress it a little more. From this day forward, no matter what you do in your life, whether you go on to be a sheriff, whether you go on to be a chief of police, whether you go on to whatever it is you do, you will always have the title, police officer. There's a lot of honor with that title. That being said, if you're ever to mess up, what do you think the first thing they're going to say is? Former police officer. You own that title now. You owe it to every other man and woman who's worn that badge to live with honor, integrity, courage, and commitment. On and off duty. Everything you do from today forward will be looked at under a microscope, whether that's good or bad. I want you all to know that I'm extremely proud of you. Like I told you after you passed your comprehensive, I couldn't ask for a better class, I couldn't ask for a better group of people, and you have not only represented yourself with professionalism and dedication, but you also served and represented your agency with the exact same class. So thank you. I wish you the best. I want you to be safe. Remember, this was the basic reserve academy, right? Basic. Be a sponge. Sit in the car, learn from your deputy, learn from your officer, your FTO. Listen, God gave you 2 ears with 1 mouth, right? Use it in that portion, in those portions. Okay? I'm proud of you, and I look forward to watching your careers as you go forward. Thank you very much to the families that showed up today and for allowing us to have your family with us. And that is all. Thank you.